Are you ready for winter? More specifically, is your home? There are plenty of steps we can take right now to make sure the cold temperatures don't wreak havoc indoors. And here with advice on preparing for the winter, our friend Ron Greenbaum is here, better known as the Basement Doctor. Ron, nice to have you here.
Great to be here, as always, Gail.
It's only September and you want to talk about winter?
Well, you know, after yesterday's storm and the crazy weather, I think it's time to winterize your home.
And it was just a couple years ago that we had that really big storm, and remember all these people lost electricity, and that's something that you have to think about too. There were people who went weeks without electricity. Yeah,
and it's actually, that's about the worst thing that can happen, especially if you have a sump pump, because sump pump's like your heart. And if it's not pumping because the electricity's off, your house is really in trouble, and the byproducts are really bad.
So what's your recommendation then for folks?
Well, there's a couple things to do. You know, you want to make sure that you either have a generator to use. That's the ideal thing. Of course, it could be a little costly to do something like that, a whole house generator. We do install them, but you can be upwards of $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 for an entire home generator, and that's not affordable for a lot of people. So what you really want to do is have a battery backup sump pump. That's what's more affordable, and it's totally necessary.
It is necessary. And because if that sump pump isn't sumping and you say it gets flooded, think of the money you've lost in your basement. Many folks use them for, family rooms, but even if they don't, that's huge.
Yeah, one deductible, and pays, you're paying for that sump pump.
And we were just looking at a picture of a sump pump, and it's easy to do, much less expensive than a huge generator.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is, and it's usually installed in less than a day, and it'll protect all your heating, cooling, everything in your basement.
And they'll kick on even if you're not there to turn it on.
Yes, that's correct. As long as you have a good quality one. There are some on the market that we used to actually install a few that we learned real quickly weren't going to last.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've started to talk about winter and time to prepare. What should homeowners do now to prepare for winter, to prepare their home for winter?
Well, the first thing, we're in fall, and what you want to do, and a lot of people say, well, when you're doing the inspection of the home, Ron, why are you going outside and looking at my gutters? You're in the basement, doctor, and it's because that's the first thing you want to do. If you have your gutters that are clogged up, that's going to create problems for your basement, and you've got to be very, very careful about that. So very easy to do. Make sure that you do clean those gutters, and that'll stop the water from cascading over.
Okay, so what if it does and it cascades? Does that then seep through the foundation?
Yeah, it'll go right in there and possibly even push the wall in.
Okay. The gutters are one thing. What else?
Well, you want to make sure, one of the things we do is if you have a sump pump already and you have a discharge line, we put something called an ice guard on so it doesn't get frozen. Particularly if it does get frozen, it gives water a place to go. It's a patented item that we developed probably about 15 years ago.
How does it work?
Well, what happens is on the discharge line outside of the home, right on the very outside, there's a component that we put in that allows, if the water is backing up, it will not go back in your basement. It'll actually cascade the water out next to your foundation, which still isn't the best thing, but it's a lot better than allowing the water to come back into the basement.
Once things have hit winter and we're already into the cold weather, is it harder to do some of these things simply because the ground is hard? Some of the things have already started to happen and you can't really make those repairs?
It's very difficult to put in a discharge line or anything on the outside of the house if the ground itself is frozen. So now is absolutely the time. That's what we do. And, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm actually offering a free inspection for anybody that calls us for their existing sump pumps, discharge lines. It's totally free, and we have increased the amount of people going out to do that.
Okay. Clogged gutters, snow, ice, anything else that we should be aware of as we head into winter when it comes to the basement?
Just keep an eye on your walls. If they're cracking or moving because of the freeze-thaw on the outside, that could be very bad. So you want to keep an eye on that, especially if, again, if you are leaving town, though, you want to make sure that your basement doesn't flood.
Mm-hmm. That generator is a great idea, especially if it's the kind that will automatically turn on when you're not there, or if the electricity goes out. That's scary stuff.
Yeah, we unfortunately, a lot of people wait till something happens. But if you call 877-DRY-TIME, we'll come out and it won't cost you a nickel.
Nice to see you, Ron.
Great to see you,
Have a
Gail.
good weekend.